Welcome back, Lilburn. It's another edition of the Burn podcast and video.
That's right.
We want to remind everybody, I'm Jonathan Hilliard from Connects Media, here with my good friend Brian Burchick.
Hello, Lilburnites. How are you?
From the City of Lilburn. Thanks again for joining me, my friend. And yeah, we're in, I think, month 4 or 5 of this now, right?
Something, yeah, man. We've been feeling the burn for some time now.
Cooking right along,
yeah,
as
right.
You might say. So, yeah, well, here we are in June. It's kind of crazy
right.
to think about, but a lot going on in the city, and as always, we want to get everybody caught up with things that are going on and talk about some great times that we've had over the course of the last month. First and foremost, Brian, I know opportunities are coming up over the course of this month for folks to get involved and hear more about the things that we talk about right here on the show in the form of public meetings. Tell us about those opportunities.
Yeah, just a reminder, city council meetings always the second Monday of every month, so that's June 14th in June, and they are back to in-person at City Hall. And then the DDA meeting, Downtown Development Authority, always third Wednesday of the month, so that's June 16th, also in person, City Hall. And our Planning Commission meeting, which is always the fourth Thursday of the month, so June 24th. And so anyway, if you have interest in participating and showing up and learning at those public meetings, they're public. So it's always an opportunity, and you can go to cityoflilburn.com for those dates, and if you need to be reminded of those.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of showing up, the Lilburners or Lilburnites, however you like to put it, showed up in huge numbers.
Oh, by the thousands.
For Rock the Park on June the 4th.
That's
what
right.
an awesome sight. There was plenty of space to spread out, of course, and keep your distance at Lilburn City Park, but Rock the Park was a pretty incredible scene.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was our biggest concert we've ever had in terms of the amount of people. And we're just blessed with a huge green space, right, that can accommodate this. And so we were blown away. Maybe we struck it right with having Fleetwood Mac tribute band Rumors, who were great.
They were awesome.
Maybe with that viral video on TikTok with the dude with the ocean spray, maybe it just all aligned. But for whatever reason, man, it was a huge crowd. We think it was around 6,000 people, which is insane. Had a great opening band dial-up, and then Rumors were excellent. The weather cooperated. I mean, a lot of factors go into why such a large crowd turned out.
Sure.
But we were so excited.
Well, and the band was great, and I know there were a lot of Fleetwood Mac fans there, but I think it was awesome just to see how well represented all corners of Lilburn were.
Yeah.
Young to old,
Yes.
a great diverse crowd. There was really a special scene on at Lilburn City Park on Friday, June 4th, and I know we've got another one of those later in the summer that we'll eventually talk about.
September.
But, things that are closer to where we are right now. I know we've had a couple of great Food Truck Tuesdays.
Yes.
Talk about the scene at Food Truck Tuesday.
Yeah, Food Truck Tuesdays are fun, and they are every second Tuesday. So many rhythms to remember, but every second Tuesday from May to October. So we've had 2 of them. The May and the June one were great. Big crowds. Again, everything's just bigger now. And again, I think there's many reasons why, but it's a good sign for Lilburn.
Sure.
And we're grateful for how the community is supporting these community events. The next one will be second Tuesday in July. And yeah, very encouraged by it. The weather's cooperated. Again, we've been very lucky. All the events since we kicked back in 2021, the weather has been great. So
yeah, it's worked out super well so far, and I know one that we're all looking forward to, and a big one every year, pre-COVID, and I'm sure it'll be huge again this year, is our July 4th celebration happening this year on July 3rd with Sparkle in the Park, right?
That's right. Yeah. Sparkle in the Parkle is happening.
I like it.
And you're right. It's a little nuance there because it's the July 4th celebration, but it is July 3rd because of wanting to do that on a Saturday night versus a Sunday night. So July 3rd, Sparkle in the Park, big time. We are just beginning to really kind of ramp up the promotion of that. That is the largest event of our calendar year historically, so certainly planning on a large amount of people coming out, and we continue to believe we can do that in a safe way, but really going to be a really fun way to celebrate America.
Yeah. Well, and can we go ahead and encourage people now to make plans if you can, if you can walk to
Yep.
Old Town,
Yep.
that would be a great idea. You
Yep.
know, parking is going to be at a premium because,
Sure.
as we've said, the crowds will be,
Yep.
you know, pretty significant, we would imagine. I know a lot of people like to park at City Hall Library and walk
Yep.
down. If you've got the means to park off-site of Old Town and walk down into Old Town,
Yes.
encouraged, highly encouraged.
Yes, you can. In terms of those off-site areas that are still walkable, City Hall is open for parking. Lilburn First Baptist Church parking lot is available. Salem Missionary Baptist is also available. We work with those
Sure.
local organizations, and they are gracious to let us use their parking lots. So,
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
good tips.
yes.
All right, and then something I know my kids really enjoyed last year that is coming up in the month of July is sprinkler days. in Lilburn.
Yeah. I like having a good balance of, these big events, but then these smaller things and
Right.
sort of in between. So, yeah, Sprinkler Days is no grand production. It is like perfect for the parent who's just passing the time.
Yep.
Right? So, I mean, if you got little kids, you're just waking up every morning like, how are we going to pass the time?
Right.
And this is an opportunity for that.
Sure.
Every Wednesday in July from 10 a.m. to noon, we will have some sprinklers on with sort of some fun, kind of inflatable, I don't even know how you call those things, but basically the water shoots out of a dinosaur or a unicorn or whatever. Nothing fancy, but a good, fun thing to look forward to on the calendar. And, I'm sure many a parent will take advantage of that, and then you can get lunch in Old Town afterwards. And, we got that. And then also just, ongoing, we have Cornhole League that is not for the kids, but for grown-ups. And that is the Summer League is underway. We got over 60 people in that league, which is a good amount for summer. Summers
awesome.
are always a little less. But, yeah, Cornhole, that's on Thursday nights.
Sure.
And feel free, anybody can show up and watch and see, and then you can sign up for the Fall League if you want. Yeah.
Well, and let me be the first to encourage you guys with some of these, especially smaller events in Old Town like the Sprinkler Days. You start coming to these and enjoying these events in Old Town, and you're going to start seeing the same people over and over again.
Yeah.
And the community that I know my family has built in Old Town in a short period of a couple of years is awesome, just from hanging out at the playground and coming
Yeah.
to Sprinkler Days,
Yep.
coming and sitting on the deck at Agavero Parkside or on the patio out at Public House. So, yeah, come enjoy it. And, I know summer is long for a lot of parents who are used to having kids in school and are, like you said,
It's
just
different.
trying to make it through and fill the time,
Passing the
sometimes. So come enjoy it down here in Old Town with us. And as always, you can find all these things, events on oldtownlilburnga.com.
That's right.
Right? I
Yeah.
got the website right, hopefully.
That's right,
great.
oldtownlilburnga.com. Everything going on in Old Town is there. So
Sure.
plan your weekend, check out the fun stuff. It highlights our various Old Town businesses.
Right.
It's just a few things to note there. Our newest video, we do a video series called Love in Old Town. And our newest video was with Scott McCready, who's the owner of Music on Main Street. So encourage you to check that out. We've got a YouTube page that is, I felt really old saying that. It's not a YouTube page, is it? What do you call it? Channel?
Channel.
We got a YouTube channel.
That's right.
We've got an internet YouTube page. So anyway, check out our channel because it's legit. It's we're pumping out unique videos every month.
It's not a GeoCities page.
No.
YouTube channel.
It's a YouTube channel. But anyway, that most recent video, if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it because we talk about Music on Main Street, and also just coming up in August is their 10th year anniversary. So you can kind of be on the lookout for that. It's gonna be a really fun time to celebrate that business. I know Citizen Exchange, just from checking out the Old Town website recently, I've seen that they're doing art classes consistently for kids and adults.
Yeah.
So, man, I think we all need more time
Sure.
for play and art and just getting creative in a different headspace.
Yeah. And
So-
camps available for kids at both of those locations, I believe, Music on Main Street and Citizen Exchange. So something to think about and check out.
Yep.
Expanding our border a little bit outside of Old Town.
Yeah.
I know at the end of the month there's an opportunity to tour the Windrussell House.
Yes,
as well.
the Windrussell House, the oldest house in Lilburn. It is truly a historic preservation gem.
Yeah.
We have a group of committed preservationists that volunteer countless hours to preserve that and promote that. So, man, if you have not been there, great opportunity to tour the house, and that is on June 26th at 10 a.m. There's limited spots, and so really, be on the lookout. And I believe there's a phone number too that you can call to reserve a spot. But that's June 26th. Again, go to Old Town Lilburn for more info. But yeah, the history preservation is important,
Yeah.
and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to our history nugget.
100%. Can't wait. Before that, though, we've talked about some of the things that are going on right now, events that are happening. But as far as what's coming, I know everybody's getting super excited to see the progress, and the beautiful pavilion is coming along great, and I know Splash Pad is on the docket as well.
That's right. Yeah, it's all underway. We are anticipating the opening of both the new pavilion and the Splash Pad late summer. It's, as you can tell if you've been by there, the progress is being made, and it is looking really great. I didn't realize quite how visually impactful the pavilion would be. It's just really, it's beautiful and really shapes kind of the view and the space there. But yeah, gosh, can't wait for the Splash Pad, to just let the kids just go for it.
Run amok.
Yeah, just
run amok.
Yes. So that's late summer. And also, just to add on to that, we're also going to be redoing that parking lot that serves the park right there. We've needed for a while now to address some stormwater issues, to address some lighting issues to make it more bright, and that'll help the bus restaurant and the park and all those that are using those amenities in the evening time, as well as just trying to maximize as many parking spots as possible. So that will also be in a similar timeline. So it's all going to come together, and then when it's done, and you're like, wow, we've got a great, new thing here.
Yeah. No, awesome. And I know it's going to open up some additional parking opportunities in the lot down by the playground as well, because there's some storage being built into the pavilion, so that'll provide more opportunities for you guys.
The storage units will be gone, and everything stored there will be moved to the basement of the pavilion. So yes, it's
awesome.
It's coming together.
Well, we've got all this great stuff going on down here in Old Town, and I know out on 29, a challenge in the past has just been people driving right on by and having no idea we were even down here. So I know there's some steps being taken to remedy that, right? Yeah,
so the kind of official term is wayfinding. But yeah, if you've been out on 29 in the last few weeks, you maybe have noticed the first phase of the wayfinding and signage program that is being installed there. The first phase was blade signs. It's what we call them, doing this a lot. But the blade signs, if you've seen them, they are attached to the traffic light posts at the major intersections between, on Highway 29. So, for example, where Main Street and 29 intersect, you'll see there's two of them because it's both the city and the Old Town signs there. And then you'll see right on down 29, you'll see the City of Lilburn logo, blade signs, really good looking. The next phase is what we call the vehicular directional signs, but those will be signage at various approaching those major intersections on 29 that are helping to guide people to all the major amenities, the City Hall Library, all our parks. There's 3 different parks that we're pointing people towards just on this small stretch on 29. The library, police department, Old Town, all that stuff. So really attractive, really good looking signs, and those will be starting to be installed this summer.
Sure. And as you follow those directions coming into Old Town, you're now greeted by some beautiful Old Town signage. Whoever's doing that Old Town Lilburn branding, is doing okay.
Yeah, so, it's all good.
Well done. They're nice and lit up at night. It looks awesome as you're coming past City Hall and then into Old Town. But speaking of 29, I know we had a big day in the month of May. I believe it was May 19th as Lilburn's first brewery opened its doors out on Highway 29, right?
That's right. Blackbird Farms Brewing is open. A beautiful space. If you haven't checked it out, you got to go. It'll make you proud. It's truly a calm, relaxing, chill vibe in there. It's family friendly. Breweries have evolved, and it's really a gathering spot. It's a community gathering spot, and they've done an excellent job. So that's very exciting. It is open for business. And also, just I think worth noting is just this month, Chick-fil-A and their brand new space has finally been able to open their dining room.
Sure.
So even though it was completed a year ago, due to the pandemic, they're just now opening that dining room. It's beautiful. They've got the indoor playground, for the kids.
Right.
So,
which isn't open yet. by the way, just so you don't go
Yes.
hoping to jump in the playground. It will be soon.
Very soon.
Hopefully, yes.
I was there this week, actually.
Nice.
And it's very soon. Probably by the time this hits, it'll be open.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. All great things, and what better, evidence that not just Old Town, but all of Lilburn is really thriving and growing and doing well, especially out in that Highway 29 corridor. So, make a little lunch date for Chick-fil-A or a group hangout at Blackbird Farms sometime in the near future. It'll be a great time for you, I'm sure. All right, so opportunities for those Lilburners or Lilburnites that might be looking for new employment position. I know there's a couple options open with the city right now. From what I hear.
Briefly, just wanted to make people aware of this. We've got some great job openings with the City of Lilburn. Currently, a city planner position, a planner/water resource specialist, a police officer, part-time park attendant, and a part-time street maintenance worker. So kind of a variety there of skills, full-time and part-time. But, we're looking for great people to join a great team. And, there's a lot of exciting things happening in the city. So it's a great place to work. So you can go to cityoflilburn.com for all the info on those openings.
And as we've learned, there's nothing quite like working 4 minutes from where you live. And if you live in the city of Lilburn,
if you're local,
head on down the hill to Old Town and, you're at work. Nothing sweeter, as we've learned. So, and then another big thing I know we want to continue to remind folks is in the fall that they will be getting separate property tax bills from the county and the city, right?
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll just keep talking about this because it's a big change, and just especially year one, you just want to remind everybody about that. So in September is when you'll receive those property tax bills, and then the due date will be November 15th. And if you have any questions about this new tax billing process, we have a special phone number set up just for questions in regards to this. So that number is 770-279-3705. No stupid questions. So just call that number and we can help you out. But like you said, it will be you will be receiving, if you are a property owner in the city limits, you'll get two separate property tax bills, one from Gwinnett County, one from Lilburn. Yeah.
And I know a lot of new residents even struggle sometimes to know whether they're in the city limits or not. So check out cityoflilburn.com.
That's right. Yeah, there's a street address list.
Yep.
It's very clear when you go through there. You can just look. It's alphabetical. You just look for your street address, and if you're not on that means you're not in the city limits. It means you're in the Lilburn zip. We kind of talk about city limits versus zip.
Yeah. My granddad used to say we live out in the county.
Out in the county. That's right. That's right.
County.
Yeah, I grew up in a neighborhood where like half the neighborhood was city limits and half was not.
Funny how that works, right?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, man, if you've got Lilburn in your address, you are obviously a member of this wider community. So we love you, and we thank everybody, whether they're in the city limits or just the zip code. Thanks for all the support for these events and all the fun stuff that are going on. So
100%. And for all those Lilburnites and Lilburners, whichever one you identify with, we want to get back to our history nuggets. I know last week we learned a little bit about the building where Antiques in Old Town now sits.
Yep.
But let's talk history.
Yeah, let's talk history. And I'm excited to say we have 2 college student interns this summer who are working directly with sort of our local historians to continue to gather and collect all the important history of Lilburn with the goal of, once that is kind of created or collected and organized, to make a book. And so, it's a big project. It's going to take time. But to have a book where a lot of that has been curated and lives is a legacy piece that you can then just share it readily. And so that's very exciting. I was asked by one of our local historians to just give a shout and a call to anyone who, if you have some like meaningful Lilburn history stuff, let us know, because they would love to incorporate that.
Yeah.
So if you do have some of that, and you feel like you could really contribute to this, you can just email development@cityoflilburn.com. Okay. That email will allow for us to share it with those working on this. And it's going to be cool, and we gotta preserve the stories. If you don't, you lose them. And every community needs to be drawing out its unique story. So
Yep.
we're excited about that. To continue with last month's Nugget, we last month highlighted one of our coolest historic buildings, 93 Main Street. This is where Antiques and Old Town is on Main Street. But just a continuation of that, on the building itself, and of course this building was spared by the 1920 fire. But the initials and names etched into the brick provide evidence that the building was a popular meeting spot. And I want to say I'm reading this directly from what was written by the building owner, Hugh Wilkerson.
Sure.
Some of the carved names are still recognized among older members of the community, such as James Jordan, who carved his name on December 8th, 1939. Mr. Jordan was Lilburn's postmaster in the 1930s and 1940s when the post office was located across the street where the Kofer building can now be found. That's the building with the mural.
Right.
On November 2nd, 1930, Dr. Kelly carved Dr. C.A.K. on his own wall close to Nash, who left his mark a few months earlier on Valentine's Day, 1930. Other men who visited town are now just names scratched on brick, such as J. Hopkins and Ed Spence. So, kind of fun to see that.
Yeah.
And something that you mentioned even last month, was how on those corners of the brick, you can see they're kind of worn down and had been dulled, where they had been, where people would sharpen their knives as they sat there and talked. And this Kelly building, call it the Kelly building because Dr. Kelly, of course, the owner back in the day, it was an appealing place to gather due to its proximity with the train depot, and evidence of its appeal and of a time where people lived their lives in a slower-paced world kind of linger on that brick facade. It was the building that had the first telephone installed in all of town. So it's just it was always been and will continue to be a community gathering spot.
Yeah, center of town, right there, and think
That's
about
right.
Railroad Avenue was where the old railroad was. So I mean, people literally
Exactly.
could stand on the side of that building and kind of wait for their train. And
That's
Depot
right.
was just down just a little way. So it's fun to think about.
It is.
Kind of what that might have looked like. But awesome. Well, some great stuff today, Brian. Appreciate it as always.
Yes.
And let's not we can't forget that Lilburn is hip.
Lilburn is hip, more so every day.
Every day. Well, thanks for joining us again on this month's episode of The Burn. We'll see you next month.